may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
All right, guys, as always, I know y'all are probably so annoyed with hearing it by now, but I think it's the most important thing I say in every single video. Just thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming out here, showing as much support as y'all do, dropping as many likes on the videos, leaving as many comments, going out here. My favorite part of this channel, honestly, is notification gang. I mean, just the fact that so many of y'all have the notifications on for the videos, come in, like it right away, leave a comment right away. I mean, it is just absolutely crazy. And guys, I appreciate it so much. And y'all know, because y'all go out there and do that, I'm going to continue to live stream every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights and Sunday mornings every single day. We've missed one day of live streaming this football season, and that was whenever we had 2 games on Monday night because of COVID, and we could not start the live stream at like midnight, so we had to miss that one day. But outside of that, y'all know we are going hard, going nonstop, and it's because of all the support that y'all have showed this channel. But yeah, let's not talk about that anymore. I know we talk about that every single video, and y'all are probably extremely annoyed. Let's talk about the 3 wide receivers that you need to go out there and you need to buy right now. And I know these guys aren't necessarily going to be super cheap, but I think that they are going to be relative values compared to the production that they will be able to provide you for the rest of the 2020 football season. So go out there, and it may cost a little bit to get these guys, but I think that at their current price, they are going to be worth it's going to be value regardless. Let's go into our first player, and let's talk about Tyler Lockett. So yes, I understand. Tyler Lockett is going to cost you significantly more now than he would have in your fantasy football draft, but it's for a great reason. Now, we did not expect to see this much volume in the Seattle Seahawks passing game. I mean, usually over the past 4 or 5 years, this offense has traditionally leaned on the run, and we know that Russell Wilson has been one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the NFL pretty much for maybe the past 5 years. But it did not really matter because they did not really unleash him. They did not let him go out there and show that he had this talent. They really limited the overall offense and just making them run the ball, control the game, and then win off play action. And then Russell Wilson came into the season just saying, guys, I just want to play the entire game like we play the fourth quarter. And so far, through 4 weeks, that's what they've done. Through 4 weeks, the Seattle Seahawks team has looked absolutely dominant, and that's with throwing the ball with great volume. And we understand, with the efficiency that Russell Wilson has, we are going to continue to see this offense just be near the top of the league. I know that we are going to go out there, and some of these offenses that may be overperforming, you kind of expect them to take a step back. But with Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks, I do not see a single reason we should expect anything different the rest of the season versus what we've seen through the first month. And this is because we've seen Russell Wilson be this productive with his opportunities over the past few years now. So this is not an outlier, and coming off a week where Tyler Lockett just really disappointed fantasy football owners, and I understand, I mean, if you started him, you maybe lost your week because of it, but it does not matter. What matters is seeing Tyler Lockett lead this team in targets so far. I know DK Metcalf has been extremely impressive, but DK Metcalf has not been getting the volume. I mean, DK Metcalf has looked great with the targets that he's seen, but he's not seeing near the target share of Tyler Lockett. So knowing that Tyler Lockett is the wide receiver 1, he himself is extremely talented. He is playing with quite possibly the second best quarterback in the NFL, and this is a team that's going out there and aggressively pushing the ball down the field. I mean, wheels up on Tyler Lockett. I think that he's a solidified wide receiver 1 from here on out. Trades that I would go out there and try to make for Tyler Lockett, maybe you can go trade a Tyreek Hill and get a Tyler Lockett plus some. Maybe you can go out there and you can try to flip DJ Chark and a small piece to get Tyler Lockett. Now, that's about the range that I'd be looking at. I think that he's just a little bit less valuable than Tyreek Hill at the current moment based on the offense that he's playing in, based on the amount of targets that he's seeing in this offense. I think that this Week 4 performance against the Miami Dolphins just creates a tiny buy opportunity for you where you're still going to have to go out there and you're still going to have to pay more than you would have this offseason. But regardless, I think that the price with how we're seeing the Seattle Seahawks offense run is going to be well worth it. Now, let's talk about a wide receiver who kind of has been falling into this older group. Everyone around him in this age group is kind of falling off, and he looks to be doing the same, but it's not for the same reason, and this is Julio Jones. So like I said in my wide receiver falling video, I mean, we are looking at wide receivers like AJ Green. We're looking at wide receivers like T.Y. Hilton. We're looking at wide receivers Antonio Brown for a completely different other reason. But these were all the guys that have been compared to Julio Jones over the past few years, and none of them are performing. Currently, the narrative around this old group of wide receivers is that they're being placed at the NFL level, but I think that we are seeing this for a multitude of reasons. One, with Antonio Brown, I mean, clearly, I don't even think we have to get into this. Antonio Brown just took a couple too many hits, and I feel really bad for the guy because he's clearly lost it. And then we look at AJ Green. AJ Green has not been healthy in years, and I think we can safely say that the injuries have caused him to kind of fall off a cliff. And then we understand, I've said this so many times, that if you look at T.Y. Hilton, you just watch the video that we made based on him this summer. I mean, we went in, saw his efficiency slowly drop throughout the past few years, then fall off a cliff in 2019. And we understand that these wide receivers that purely win with speed, they are the first ones to go off that age cliff. And that's what happened to T.Y. Hilton. So, I mean, all of these wide receivers, Antonio Brown, it was off the field issues. AJ Green, complete injury issues. T.Y. Hilton, we've seen him declining over the past few years. Now we get to Julio Jones, who, yes, Julio Jones has been underperforming in 2020 so far. But if you look at the overall reasons why, I can't find any outside of injury. Yes, I understand that through the Dallas Cowboys game, he wasn't suffering the injury the entire time, and he did go out there and make, I mean, we all saw the drop in the end zone. It was played on repeat. I mean, how many times that game? I mean, it was just absolutely horrendous how they wanted to show that play every 30 seconds. And since then, Julio Jones has not gone out there and he has not produced, but it's not from a talent perspective whatsoever. It's not from a situational perspective. All it is AJ Green has been dealing with that injury. And I think going out there on Monday night when a ton of people were just talking about, oh, is Julio Jones going to play today? I don't know. Is Julio Jones going to play today? And he went out there. He was active. So all of the owners were extremely excited that they were able to put him in their starting lineup. And what did he end up with? Like 9 points before he got injured again. I mean, just something that's going to be extremely demoralizing for just the psychology of Julio Jones owners. So I think this is one situation where we can look at him being an outlier from all these other groups of wide receivers that they are trying to plug him into. And I say, no, that's not accurate. We should not be devaluing AJ Green I've been saying AJ Green so many times. Julio Jones like that. And I think we should be actually going out there. And while people are getting worried, we should be taking advantage because when Julio Jones is healthy, I still fully believe that he is going to be a top 5 wide receiver in fantasy. Okay, now one player that we barely saw any action from in week 4, we barely seen him at all in 2020, is Deebo Samuel. So I understand, I mean, if you were thinking that you're going to go out there and buy Deebo Samuel, you're like, what's the point? Brandon Ayuk is there emerging. We understand that George Kittle is going to be the number 1 target there the entire season. Deebo Samuel did not necessarily look that impressive in week 4. Why am I going to go buy him? And a couple reasons on this. One, if we looked before Deebo Samuel's foot injury, going in this offseason, playing in high-stakes fantasy football redraft leagues, Deebo Samuel was actually a premium wide receiver 2 selection. After his injury, he fell off to being selected about the wide receiver 5 range because people did not know how long they were going to have to wait for Deebo Samuel. Well, lucky for you, you were not one of these people that went out there and invested in him this offseason. You waited. You made someone else hold him out on that roster. You used your roster spot to churn through the waiver wire, and now you're able to go out there and pay a similar price to where that guy went out there and drafted Deebo Samuel, and he's the one that had to waste the roster spot for the first month of the season. I mean, this just by itself just sounds like a situation that you want to be going out there and targeting. But on top of this, I think that based on his week 4 performance, it may kind of demoralize the owner who has been holding on to Deebo Samuel so long, where personally, I was not even expecting him to put up that many fantasy points because the quotes from Kyle Shanahan coming into the game were saying, hey guys, I mean, Deebo Samuel, yes, he's back, but we are going to have him in an extremely limited role, and you're not going to see much from him. And I mean, we didn't see much from him, but that's what we expected. All we wanted to see was him to get on the field, and we understand that he is going to get the opportunity in future weeks, not necessarily week 4. I mean, nobody was starting Deebo Samuel in week 4. And on top of all of this, Jimmy Garoppolo is off the IR. Jimmy Garoppolo is looking like he is going to be good to go either in week 5 or week 6. So I think this is going to just increase the overall ceiling and the overall floor for the entire offensive production that we are going to see from all these 49ers skill position players. So guys, I think for a multitude of reasons, based on what we saw Deebo Samuel his rookie year last year, Deebo Samuel at the moment, if you can go out there and pay wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 prices for Deebo Samuel, that's a trade I would absolutely love. A trade that sounds crazy to make, but I truly think that if you play in a deep fantasy football league, it makes a ton of sense, is going out there, trading a Tyreek Hill for a Tyler Lockett and a Deebo Samuel. I mean, I think that would be absolutely fantastic. I expect Tyler Lockett to be a low-end wide receiver 1 from here on out, and I think that Deebo Samuel has that upside to be a high-end wide receiver 2. But yeah, guys, I mean, these are our 3. Tyler Lockett, Julio Jones, Deebo Samuel. Go out there, go try to aggressively buy them in your fantasy football leagues. And yeah, that's all I got for y'all. I really hope y'all enjoyed the video. I really hope y'all got something from it. I will be coming out with our top 3 running backs to buy later today, as well as our top 3 sells at each position. So guys, if y'all enjoyed it, please make sure you drop a like. Please make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you at the live stream tonight at 8:30 Central.